Erudia, an ancient land where gods walk among men. A living, breathing, high fantasy world that we want to put into your hands. But we cannot do this alone. In order to bring you back to what tabletop is all about, combat, exploration, adventure, we need your help to bring it to life. By supporting us on Patreon, you can support this project and the cast of Moonskull, with our promise that we will answer to the only people that matter. You. Legend Seeker. Your legend starts here. Forge your path. Shape your destiny.
Oh my God, you people again. I mean, hi. Let me check my my violence levels. No, my volume levels. I just realized I never set that, so I'm probably really quiet. All right, now I'm probably really loud. There we go. I was mocking you all. Hee hee. And you maybe didn't even hear it. Anyway, I'm Frost, and I'm working on lore for the world of Erudia and the Legend Seeker universe right here, this place. Working on the map and specifically focusing in on the goblins. So we're going to be doing lore all day. Well, for the next 2 hours, not all day. But you can find us here on YouTube and on X. Kick is, being a little goofy sometimes, so we're not on Kick today. Only those two places. Come visit us. And make sure you click on that little thumbs up button. It'll get us out to more people. And boy, do people need to see us. Boy. There is a need. Just moving a few things around. These things are in my way. There we go. All right. So, yes, Crescent, you didn't have to tell me. I figured it out all on my own. I just realized I gotta plug my phone in too. And I gotta find the cable. What? Where are my cats? Hey, they didn't chew the end off it. That's good. Look at that. It even powered up the phone. Even better. I'm winning on all fronts. All right. So, slightly crazy work today. Mostly meetings because Tuesday is my meeting day. But I'm just checking. Okay, let's see. Oh, wow. You know, some of my guys, when they say they're going to do something, they just do it. And they are very thorough, and they do it exactly how I would do it. I love that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, good. Sorry. Anyway, back on this. Back on all this stuff. The, okay. Sorry. Just looking at Word, trying to correct my grammar. I am working on a few updates and fixes to the beginning entry of the Caustic Strand and how I present it to the reader. So having fun with that right now. I'm just cleaning up some of the language in here, making sure that it represents the place properly. Realized I never really quite called at the beginning how like colorful all the mineral pools and things look. And how idyllic the place can look, even though the violent history that shaped it I just realized how I could rewrite the sentence. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. Talking out loud gave me a better way to write a sentence. Let's see. I feel like every day is a meeting day. Yeah, there are a lot of them. That's true. Got to have a meeting, set up a meeting, to set up a meeting to determine nothing going to change. Well, there's some people out on paternity leave. There are other people who are taking vacations, which I really wish I could do. And yeah, it's there's a whole bunch of people that needed to get things taken care of. There are a couple of people who found other cool jobs in the industry, so they have moved on to those starting like last week. So we had a couple of people who are no longer in charge of meetings, so they got moved around. It's always fun. Terrifyingly close to how a department at work operates. Oh no. Add another meeting and it's accurate. No, don't add the extra meeting. No. Don't mimic real life. That's one thing you won't find here in the Caustic Strand. You won't find meetings. Okay, you might find some meetings. People are talking about how to get the minerals out of the pools going to somewhere else, but usually they're standing knee deep in a mineral pool, getting their skin bleached by the caustic water. But that's a work meeting. At work, really, on the work floor. All right, I'm gonna thank him for that. There we go. My boss has been getting very sweary when we all get another meeting invite. Oh boy. Hello, Fantastic Sarcastic. We had a meeting outside today. It was mostly about where the smoke came from. Huh. Interesting. Sounds like a fire drill to me. I'm just saying. And I don't think you guys can hear it right now. I'm just listening to the music in the background. I think I have it turned off properly. If you hear music, please let me know, because you shouldn't. You should not. All right, there we go. Hail to you as well, Dave. Woo! Welcome, everybody. So I'm rewriting, like I said, the entry, the kind of the introduction to the place. So it is called the Caustic Strand, and the quote that I have here is a proverb from the Strand: is a job done well speaks for itself. That kind of typifies the people and their work ethic, and that they are not big talkers about things that they do. They just let the work speak for itself. Their major conflicts are trade disputes with the nearby places. I'm just going to say there's a couple of places over here and a couple of places down here, and these people and these people. Mainly, it's who's getting access to things and how much it's going to cost them. But also monster skirmishes and natural predators. But monster skirmishes are a big thing here because there are dragons up in those mountains. And sometimes foolish people decide to provoke them. It is not a good idea to make a whole bunch of black dragons mad. Or blue dragons. Or any dragons for that matter, because there are hatching grounds up there. Leave them alone. Oh, wait. It is the copy machine. Sorry. What copy machine? Are you copying things right now? There was no drill. I helped with drills. It was more of a get the F out. Ah, okay. There we go. That doesn't sound like fun. I mean, it could have been fun. I don't know. Was it a fun run? A fun run? Like a 200-foot fun run where you run out of the building and you're done? You just stand out, look at it, and try to figure out what happened? All right, let's see. Their major conflict. Blah. The capital is Akwai Afore, commonly known as A4. The largest city is Port Castor, which is also known as Port Castra in the old language. It's Port Castra or Port Castor, but now they call it Port Castra, since it's been like 1,000 years since that city was created. This is a representative republic. So people send their representatives to the capital. And they mainly speak common here. Pretty much mostly human beings here. There are people of different groups here and there, but mostly humans. Mostly humans. Fun run off a short pier. I got wet. Good job, Dave. All right, that, and space that out. All right. People regularly worship Thalassa and Xander here. And Thalassa is goddess of the sea, and Xander is the god of justice and light. And the demonym of these people, they usually are called Ephorians or the Saltmen. Oh, man. I had a lot of trouble falling asleep last night, which is not that strange. But for whatever reason, when I normally will fall asleep in the dead of night, it usually comes on kind of quickly, and then I'm asleep. Last night, not so much. It went on and on and on. So I'm a little tired. Let's see. The Caustic Strand is the current common name for the coastal republic of A4, once known colloquially as by its Agrian name of Columbarium, for the people's practice of keeping doves. It was a beautiful, idyllic countryside. Beautiful coasts, beautiful islands, shining bays. It was like beautiful. What would be something like that? Amalfi. Yeah, something like that. Just beautiful coastal hills and beautiful bays. It all got destroyed in the Godkiller War. Thanks, Grix. It was a home to a thriving population of master potters, fishermen, and devotees to both the goddess Thalassa and the demigod Ari, one of the god Xander's scions. So he had twin children, Ari and Asa. And its once stunning coastal isles and inner lands were laid to waste during the Godkiller War by Grix and his forces. The outer defensive of Port Castor and the coastal bioforts of Akwai Afore were destroyed, leaving the people here at the mercy of marauding war bands. So the Rambles here used to be a chain of a couple of large islands with little bits and pieces. They were just obliterated. Obliterated. It was supposed to be a dry dock, and I fell in. I wasn't dry. A dry dock. Whoa. Falling in a dry dock would hurt. Those things are deep. Copying off reports from meetings. Oh boy, meetings! Yay! Yeah, slowly. Don't even slowly put back on your sunglasses. Just put those things on, man. Quickly. Grix is bad, MK. The devastation was not limited to their defenses, though, as the monstrosities they faced poisoned and cracked the very land as Ari's forces fought them to a standstill. So, I don't know if you guys can even see when I'm like zooming in on stuff. Do you even see my cursor? You see my little cursor there, right? The little tiny thing on that island. The little tiny thing right there. Boop. I am highlighting things, even though you can't see it. Look at me moving this cursor back and forth. I might as well do this and point at the screen right over here. Can you see it? That thing right there? Yes, right over there. Boop, 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 boop. Maybe not. Can barely see it. Hey, you can see it sort of though, maybe. Yeah, it doesn't really show up well. I'd need a I don't think I have any way to like really do a better thing. If I was doing a screen capture, I could do one of those little glowing cursors that was like bling, 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 bling. But yeah, we'll just leave it like it is. Get this man a laser pointer. I've got a pair of chopsticks. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, I gave those to the cats. Never mind. I have the wrapper from a pair of chopsticks here. I forgot I gave the cats the chopsticks and they wandered off with them to have fun and chew on them. Why do I still have the wrapper here? Goes in the garbage. Boop. And we no longer have it. All right, so I'll pull up a pencil here. Look, a pencil. Pencil. I'll point over there. Point, 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 point. And then I'll point at the screen here. And you can see it all. See anything. Though I wonder, the closer I get it, the more... Nah, because my green screen only goes to about here. Because I cut off the side of everything. Never mind, I can't help you. You get nothing, and you will like it. I do have laser pointers around, but I don't use them with the cats as much anymore because eventually it gets them a little frustrated since they can't catch the laser. So I get them actual cat toys. Actual cat toys. Which reminds me, I'm going to throw that over there and probably make a shadow on the screen, but that's okay. I don't know if I showed you guys this fancy thing I got. But this is for cats for playing. It's like a little fisherman pole. It's got a little handle, and it telescopes out. So it's keeps your hands well away from it. Has a very heavy duty plastic cable here with a little clip, so you can play with it with them and get your hands out of the way. But you can hook all the different cat toys onto it, like little feathers and little things. They absolutely love this and go kind of crazy with it. Just a little. Tiny bit. A bit. But they love it, and if they pull really hard on the thing, they can actually yank the toys off of there, but it doesn't hurt them, and it doesn't hurt the pole, so they enjoy it. And that way they get to catch the feathers and stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah, though the demigod was slain by Grix, his forces managed to slow the advance of the evil armies until forces arrived from Silvermon, and their combined might pushed Grix and his armies back out to sea. More than a millennia later, the land here is still not recovered. The locals have found ways to harvest the rich minerals and salt stirred up by the volcanic activity, both in the coastal waters and colorful hot springs that abound in the surrounding hills. Who has cats? I don't know, somebody. Major villages each have a small military garrison rotated from A4's standing army, stationed here for the purpose of protecting the people as they harvest the area's natural resources. Highly sought-after salts and minerals from this area fetch a fair price in markets far and wide, though the workers here see only a small portion of that profit, since it passes through many hands to reach those distant buyers. They lead simple lives, letting their work speak for them, enjoying stories around the hot springs on cold nights and the lure of a simple life unburdened by war and deprivation. Originally founded by refugees from the God-Killer War, how do I want to put this? All right, the villagers have a strong tradition of storytelling, ancestral pride, and a work ethic admired by many. That. Even the dwarves of the north. Naturally olive-skinned, many of these people here can trace their legacy back to the great coastal cities destroyed in the God-Killer War, and a few even claim that they are descended from the kingdom of Lost Thalassia, which is over here, just across the mountains. Just a hop, skip, and a jump away. Workers of the salt flats and the acidic pools of the caustic strand are easily recognized by their bleached hands, forearms, feet, and calves. A lifetime spent wading and working in these pools often leaves these areas of their skin shades lighter and pockmarked, a symbol of pride demonstrating a long life of dedicated work. No one tell Frost about Temu. Oh, I've heard about Temu, and everybody uses it as the Temu John Cena, Temu this, Temu everything. I'm like, I'm getting the impression that it's incredibly cheap crap. Am I wrong? When viewed from afar, the sparkling multicolored mineral pools, steaming hot springs, and tidy clay roof villages appear almost quaint and magical, belying the violent history that shaped the area. There we go. That kind of sums it a little better. Temu ads are so annoying. There's Temu ads? Like TV kind of ads, or like website ads? Who gets ads? All those people get ads. Many of the current villages along the Strand were built around the only remaining structures after the devastation wrought by Grix and his army. I don't want to say ancient again. I want to say we'll say the sturdy Agrian mile forts. Some of these ancient stone forts have been robbed away by builders and no longer stand, but in most villages, they tower above the houses and are home to the local garrison or justice council. Nearly every village along the Strand is built in close proximity to the main road or within sight of it. Countryside past the control of the mile forts is unsafe due to the large number of wild predators and unpredictable geological events. We'll say goblins, wild predators, and unpredictable geological events. The site ads that you see around. Got it. Let's see. Wild predators, goblins, blah, 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 blah. For the villages further from the rivers along the Strand, fresh water is more difficult. We'll say for any villages further from the rivers along the Strand, fresh water is more difficult to come by, so they use some of the same technology by which they gather the salts to condense clean water for themselves. Often more guarded in the minerals they mine, fresh water in these villages is treated with great respect. The ancient Agrian wells and cisterns only fill with brackish waters and foul-smelling gases due to the volcanic activity on the coast, which the industrious saltmen use to further process the more difficult to break down deposits they harvest. Not unusual to see strange basket-like contraptions being retrieved from the old cisterns, the minerals inside broken down into usable forms by the acidic sludge below. Goblins are geographically... Yeah, they're geographic events. Goblins are graphics. No, they're large number of goblins, comma, wild predators, comma, and unpredictable geological events. It's a series of things. In writing, we try to add multiple things to statements, just so they're not so boring. You know, one statement about goblins, one statement about minerals, one statement about geological events, or predators, one about events. It would be very boring. Very boring. You gotta take Tarkin for his walk. All right, you have fun out there. Don't do anything too weird. It's very pleasant outside right now. It's like maybe 70, 65. Pretty nice earlier. Let's see what it thinks it is now. 66 degrees. Look at that. Very, very nice. All right. Bitter Lake. A heavy salinized inner lake or inland lake. The shores are bordered by barren beaches and are used by locals for harvesting the minerals from the waters. So Bitter Lake, it's a large lake. It's a big lake. It's a dangerous lake. On festival days, locals can be found floating around the lake, relying on its saline content to keep them afloat as they enjoy a day free of work. The rivers that empty into it renew the minerals and water level year-round, though at its deepest, it's rarely more than 30 feet to the bottom. The lake is home to a thriving ecosystem of waterfowl, shorebirds, and brine shrimp, which feed many of the animals that frequent the location. All right, the hot springs. There are innumerable hot springs across the hills of the Strand, most of them too dangerous for people to enjoy for leisure, but that yield... I think I'm going to rewrite that. Most of them too dangerous for people to enjoy for leisure, but which yield great amounts of minerals when the water is evaporated properly. Some are used by the villagers for personal relaxation, usually ones with low mineral content that can't be exploited for resources. Others are too deadly to approach, let alone harvest from. They can range from ankle deep to fathoms deep, though most have a visible bottom and are easily harvested. I'll say readily. 30 feet. That's like 10 croissants. Wah, wah. Very nice. Of particular danger well, the thing is about that Bitter Lake, though, I mean, good luck swimming down 30 feet because you're going to bob to the surface with the heavy salt content. It'd be kind of hard to submerge yourself. Of particular danger are those that are most active geologically. Some pools feature geysers that are timely, erupting on a rough schedule so workers know when to get clear. The more unpredictable and dangerous pools are often richer in minerals as they get replenished by these eruptions. Let's see, where was... that's notable locations. I gotta open this up once. You got the face. Let's see, is there anything else in these notes I wanted to put in here? Okay. Minimize that. The baths. A few of the milder hot springs are massive and have had built over with great marble structures enclosing their healing waters and bathhouses in meadows, healing houses, where the well-to-do of many nations come to recuperate and reinvigorate themselves. Why is this telling me I got a work message, but here I don't see a work message? Oh, somebody reacting to my message. Okay. Okay, there we go. Funny work people. They're so funny. The Medans, the healing house where the well-to-do of many nations come to recuperate and reinvigorate themselves. These baths are found in the larger cities along the Strand, but some of the villages have managed to build their own less grand versions for the use of locals. Ancient Agrian baths in A4 are a wonder to behold, spanning many acres, featuring hot, tepid, and cold pools. They harken back to the greatness and opulence of the empire at its height. Rumored to have amazing recuperative powers, the time in these baths comes at a premium price. Funny work, people. Well, you know, there was some kind of amusing little things that people put in there. I wonder if she found all the cookies Bap left on Sunday. I don't know. Were they cookies that were like fresh cookies she just stuck somewhere, like in the back of a cupboard door or something? Or were these packaged cookies? All right. Oh, the other thing I forgot, I did add a little thing about the lake. It's home to a thriving ecosystem of waterfowl, shorebirds, and brine shrimp, which feed many of the animals that frequent the location. So the Bitter Lake is full of the brine shrimp. You did eat the last of the bacon. What the heck was it? Pumpkin spice bacon, or whatever it was. It seemed like it would be an abomination, but maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Okay, now I got another message. Who is it now? Who can it be now? Ah, okay. Let me know that our game's happening after this. Let's see. Rumored to have amazing recuperative powers, the time in these bats comes at a premium price. Few residents of the Strand villages have ever entered one of these grand structures, but rather admire them from afar and through the tales of travelers. The Medans are ancient agrarian healing houses focused on not just the physical well-being of their patients, but the spiritual health as well. Many of the healers follow the teachings of Kylus, an ancient oracle and healer who blended herbal medicine with healing prayers to many of the gods. Tales tell of a lost Medan in the Temple of Xander, whose waters imparted wisdom and allowed the imbiber to recognize when falsehoods were being told. Destroyed along with the temple when Grix overran the coast, such wonders are absent from the present-day Strand. Oh. Hello, Shadow Warden. Pumpkin spice bacon. It was very strange, but not bad. No, fantastic, sarcastic. I merely inflicted pumpkin spice world upon her. Bah! My dad doesn't come make me bacon. Well, I'm going to destroy the shrimp population in that lake. Get it? Eat the brine shrimp. It's like a buffet. I have not made pumpkin pancakes this year. I should probably do that at some point and have them. They're really good. I love making pumpkin pancakes. But I don't do it very often because I don't eat pancakes very often. Pumpkin spice. Let's see. She trained us well to inflict food pain on a weekly basis. Uh-huh. Thing is, if I make, normally I'll eat things that are all hot sauce and spicy and tangy. If I make pumpkin pancakes, from the time that my friend was visiting, I got into the habit of making like crazy versions of everything. I'd make pumpkin pancakes. Occasionally I would make a little, I don't even, what would you call it? What is that called? When you reduce, like, not a reduction, but it was basically I'd make this, cranberry stuff on the side. It was kind of like a reduction. Not a remoulade. What is it called? I forgot all my food terms. Basically, it's like a jam or something. You just cook it in a pan and you're done with it. You put it on the side, and it's a cranberry, a tart little cranberry side. But I would also take cream cheese and mix it with a little bit of heavy cream and a little bit of powdered sugar until I made kind of like a whipped, almost like a little frosting, and put that on the side as well. And that is really good on pumpkin pancakes, especially if you throw some pecans or walnuts on top as well. Very tasty, but very, very, very filling. Let's just put it that way. Nickname as a child was Pumpkin, if anyone didn't know. Pop made pumpkin waffles for you yet. You've never had pumpkin pancake, Shadow Warden? Oh, they're pretty good. Now, I will tell you, canned pumpkin works wonders in those. If you ever cut up your own pumpkin and then cook it in the oven and chop all the pumpkin flesh up into little bits and pieces and then puree it yourself, it's a very strong pumpkin taste. You can get such a strong pumpkin taste out of it compared to what you get out of a can. But the canned stuff works just fine. And it's way easier than cutting up and roasting the innards of a pumpkin just so you could make your own. I'll just say that. Let's see. Okay, I think that gets it. Gets the point across, yeah. And now we get to Whistlings. By the way, I haven't seen Wisty Melon for a very long time. Where did she get off to? Because I named these little crazy dragon things after her, sort of. Which she probably would hate. But, haha. Whistlings, the small, ocean-hued, worm-like nuisance flyers measuring a foot or two in length. Whistlings nest in the hills and coasts of the entire caustic strand, where their distinctive cries haunt the villagers and they constantly harry the fishermen for scraps and shiny objects. These little predators often swallow items they can't digest, which get coated by the slime in their stomachs to create worry stones, which the whistlings eventually regurgitate into their nests. These natural stones are highly valuable, and the youth of the strand routinely raid these nests looking for even one such treasure. More valuable than oyster pearls, the largest rumored stone of this type is an ancient specimen that supposedly adorned a magical crown worn by an oracle who lived on the strand in ancient times. A devotee of Arintha, she regularly gazed into the Shining Bay, which is the area out here that's no longer a Shining Bay, using its tranquil silvery waters as a great scrying pool. Let's see, the pool dragons, bleached pale lizards, can reach up to 4 feet in length. Have a powerful and infectious bite. They linger in the hotter pools, hiding in the murky mineral-laden waters for warmth, and stealthily hunt smaller mammals for food. People of the strand usually check their work pools for these nearly invisible predators with long sticks, chasing them away or killing them for their resilient hides. The larger specimens find their hides tanned for use in constructing canoes, which are then used in the larger pools. Smaller hides are used to make work tools and protective gear. The bite of these lizards can be deadly if not flushed with cleansing agents, though most work crews carry around a paste made from local mineral-laced mud to combat just such an infection. Well, someday you guys will have to make sriracha bacon. It's very easy to bake as long as you have a baking pan and a wire rack. And you coat the pan underneath it with foil. You take out the strips of bacon and you slather them with a sriracha. And then put cracked black pepper all over them. Lay the strips on the cooking rack. And then just bake it until the bacon is done to the kind of crispness you like. I mean, if you really like candied bacon, you can do the same thing with brown sugar, but I don't like sweet bacon. That's just me. I don't really care for maple bacon either. Right. Might try that. And if you are a person who likes to know about a recipe and temperatures and stuff, I'm sure there's a recipe for oven-cooked bacon somewhere out there. Your oven is not good for cooking bacon. Why? What kind of an oven do you have? Do we even want to know? I can save that. Peaks above the strand, the noxious vents and acidic pools make the area completely uninhabitable for most beings, but are perfect for the rookeries of the local dragon population. By the way, the hot sauce that I have in my coffee today, I got a late lunch from the local barbecue place, and they have their own version of their hot sauces, and one of them is called Brushfire. just this dark red brown hot sauce that's incredibly thick, and that's what I put in my coffee. I wouldn't like pumpkin spice bacon. It kind of was like maple bacon. Yeah, I'll skip it. Electric one, but my dad apparently struggled to make it this weekend. Oh, well, you got to get it up to temperature, evidently. But if it's a goldenrod colored 1970s oven, it should do fine. Those things are like, made to destroy universes. But if it's a modern one, it probably won't work as well. I know the heat given off by one of those 1960s, 1970s things, because, they have that big window on the front. And when I was, gosh, well, how old was I? 3? I don't know. I don't remember now. I'd have to ask my brothers if I was like 3-ish. I was evidently really excited to see what was going on in the oven, so I walked up to it and I put my hands on the window and burned all the skin off both my hands. I got 2nd-degree burns, or I don't think they were 3rd-degree, 2nd-degree burns, but I had to wear mitts as a kid because I took a lot of the skin off my hands because those windows would get a little hot. They weren't as insulated back in the day. So, yeah. But I healed up from it. And now I can still, use my hands and everything. Anyway, let's see here. All right, so this talks about the dragons. We've gone over that. The Rambles is out here. That's the destroyed islands. Yeah, I was, I did all the cool things as a kid. Cleft palate, lots of surgeries, burned skin off my hands. Normal kid stuff, man. Okay, shallow draft vessels can go through these areas. So to get through the Rambles, mostly you have to have shallow draft vehicles or vessels. The villagers go through in their shallow bottom craft, looking for the moonfish, which are everywhere out there. And Ari's cairn is up by Arisium, up here, near the word caustic strand. Up to the left of it, you can see the word Arisium, north of the Bitter Lake. This is where the demigod son of Xander, the god of justice, confronted... Well, not where he confronted him, but he confronted Grix's navy as it approached the Shining Bay. On the small island blocking access to the inlet were 2 temples, one to Thalassia and one to Xander, Ari's father. He and his father's paladins fought the god's navy and shore forces to a standstill until Grix himself arrived. After a short battle, the god of trickery unleashed his god-killing breath on the young warrior, not only killing him, but destroying both the temples and the islands they were built on. The warrior not only distinguishing the divine spark of the hero, but destroying both the temples and the islands they were built on. After his body washed ashore, his remaining followers mournfully carried it to the hills above the coast and built him a great cairn facing the sunrise. To this day, the mound is adorned with tiny violet Arinthian blooms, the symbol of his long-dead knighthood. One other thing we had when I was a kid, I mean, we had a lot of weird things when I was a kid because it was the age of Tupperware, is we had, and we use this, my mom uses this a lot to make fried chicken. It was an electric skillet, and it was, probably about this big with rounded corners, square with rounded corners and kind of a shallow little edge to it, but it was deep like that. And it had plastic and metal legs. So the whole thing was like together, and it had legs to sit up, and it had its own heating element underneath it, but it had a thing you plugged in with a big probe end on it. It was like a big, I don't even know what you call it, like the connector. And it had a huge dial on it and that really heavy braided cord. But that thing would go up to like 500 degrees and you would fill it with oil. And she would make French fries or fried chicken in that. And it had a big lid that went on it. But if you weren't careful and you're walking by when she was making fried chicken, you're like, you would get splattered. It was a dangerous time as a child back then. You had to be careful. You had to have your head on a swivel. Even in the kitchen. Alright, so back to Ari. I'm rewriting some of this. So they went all the way up there. Okay. These are the places where all the giant remains are, too. The evil giants who sided with Grix were at the vanguard of the army that besieged the Caustic Strand during the God-Killer War. None of the immense warriors survived the assault, Xander's son, the demigod Eri, being particularly adept at battling them. Lots and lots and lots of giants were killed in this area. You're the weird one who doesn't fry things? Yeah, you're weird. What the heck? You know, weirdly, I don't fry things anymore. If I'm cooking anything in a little bit of oil like that, it's usually just a tiny bit to have it in the pan, and then I'm going to create kind of a reduction with the little crispy bits afterwards. The closest I probably come to frying anything now is if I'm making something in a wok with a bit of oil in the bottom. But yeah, I don't tend to fry a lot of things because it just makes such a mess, and I don't need a lot of fried stuff, so... Because, I mean, it's a lot of work, usually, frying things. I like making, like, chicken fried steak, and, what was the other thing that I used to fry? It's kind of frying, but not quite frying. I made some fish and things, but usually now, if I do fish, I just do it, you know, really lightly cooked. Like poached or something like that, because it's just easier to clean up. And there's not as much oil. You know, all that evil seed oil. Let's see here. Today, their oversized weapons, armor, and even their bones are unearthed in the search for minerals and treasures across the Strand. More than one dwelling, village, or fort features a giant skull, weapon, or bones as either decorations or as parts of functional architecture, reminding all who see them of the brutality of the ancient conflict. Many inns, taverns, and places of business reference giants in some way or another across the Strand. The Giant's End, I remember we came up with this a few sessions ago, is the famous inn on the road west towards A4 from Sulis, and features a caricature of a comical giant being shot in the rear by human archers. The Giant's End. Your dad is very good at frying. He's just a good cook in general. Nice. Yeah, I don't, like I said, I can't really think of anything I fry on a regular basis. Not a big fryman. All right, Port Castra is the major deepwater port of the Republic. It's where most of the Ephorian merchant houses have their villas, warehouses, and bases of power. It is a sprawling Agrian city, which was spared much of the devastation of the God-Killer War, but has become less important to non-merchants due to its distance from the rest of the Godlands. Before the war, it was a major port and trade hub between Thalassia and the Western Godlands. Since the destruction of the Sea Queen's beloved kingdom to the east, trade often goes through the smaller but bustling capital and port of A4 and north into the God. Smaller but bustling capital and port of A4 or east or along the eastern coast through the Umbral Sea. Okay, there we go. Promise you this: if you ever joined social media, you and he would talk about food for hours. Hours. I love talking about food because I'm an idiot like that. I just enjoy food. Food is pretty cool. Some people say it's because when I was a kid, we had so little food, we were obsessed with it. But quite honestly, the food we got was not fantastic. And all of my brothers learned how to cook, except my youngest brother, because, well, he was the youngest and he didn't really do that. But all the rest of us know how to cook. One of them is a chef. One of them was a cook who ran restaurants for 30 years. The other one was military, now does security and IT, but loves cooking and loves roasting, like grilling. And he's the one who helped my uncle make a pig roaster out of 50-gallon oil drums. So they love the food. And I've always known how to cook and been good at cooking. I got really good at cooking when I was doing most of the cooking in my house when my friend was staying here recovering. So I was cooking up a storm all the time and trying to come up with new ways to prepare the exact same things over and over. Wonder if that would work. The orchards of Port Castra are known far and wide for their bounty. Olives, pomegranates, stone fruit, and nuts being their major exports. Okay. So down here, this is the reason this place is so important is, well, you can see it's so green around it if you look at Port Castra there. It is the more lush of the areas down here. It was spared a lot of the devastation that really took out the arable land here in the Caustic Strand, except for the farms all along the river going north from A4 into the trade post. And A4 is the capital of the Republic of A4. It has doubled in size in the last 1,000 years, swelling past its original agrarian walls and necessitating more than one port expansion. A4 oversees the majority of the mineral and salt exports of the entire kingdom. Most of the major trading houses have secondary headquarters here, retaining their luxurious ancestral villas in the land surrounding Port Castra, as well as their home bases. The great bathhouses of A4, some owned privately, are a sight to behold, and visits to them bring a great deal of wealth into the city. Yeah, I would love to see some art of these cities, the ancient Agrian city here. Legend Seeker merch. You know, Legend Seeker merch. Like, you could get your own Legend Seeker mug and you can't see anything on it because for whatever my lighting got really extra. How did my lighting get so extra dark? I don't know how my lighting got so dark. It must be the time of the year change. So you can't read this at all, but it does say Legend Seeker on it. Wonder why. Can you see the little, I should have the white mug instead of this mug. Oh, there, you can almost see Legend Seeker there. Well then, something changed with my lighting. Oh, that's right. The other day, the cats did, like I said, I think they walked over my little controller. Now, I'm not going to screw around with it right now. Really burn everybody's retinas out if I turned the lights up. But it's a cool mug. The Rudy Poos. Yeah, you can't really see the Rudy Poos. But I mean, what you can see is because I have a white mug, is you can see my mug staring at you. Does that make sense? I gotta turn it just right to catch the light right so I can stare at you. All right. Bathhouses. The city boasts temples to all the known gods and even one to the keepers, so the Temple of Grix is considered cursed ground and few venture there or dare to disturb its darkened halls. Can you imagine going to a town where there's a city and there are gods for everything? You know, all the gods have all their temples, and there's just one temple there that's just desolate, maybe boarded up, nobody goes near it to the god who basically became horrible and evil and just would the local kids be, I dare you to go in the Temple of Grix at night. I'm not going to do that. Oh, I don't want to get cursed. Oh, you're scared. You're a baby. And then, somebody goes in there and then they never see the kid again. What happened? I don't know. Werewolves? Who knows? Don't use the stairs on us. I did get one of the grumpy wizard bugs. Ah, nice. Oh, you got your Legend Seeker merch. Mine hasn't come. Really? Yours hasn't come? How long ago did you order it? The awesome Grix. Well, we know you'd be hanging out in there and just be like, hey, everybody, how you doing? Come on in. All right. So let's see. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. Currently ruled by the censor Ezio Scavo, he's held the post at the behest of the council for longer than any other censor in living memory. He's a thoughtful and wise man, though he favors wine and song too much for some of his more serious denizens of the Strand. His wife, Viviana Scavo, is from the Galanus line, supposedly descended from the Thalassian nobility, and as such has always pushed him for favorable deals with those clinging to their traditional way of life along the coast to the Lost Kingdoms. These people over here, Seabreak Haven, Folos, all those places. Arisium. The city of Arisium was founded not long after the God-Killer War ended, originally being the semi-permanent vicus of an Agrian army camp where Ari's forces were stationed. So, up here near the cairn to the left of the word Caustic Strand is Arisium, and it used to be just a fort and a vicus, but it's now a big old city. 2 months. Wow. Did you get like a notification that they were even shipping or anything? Seems weird. Let's see. After Ari, the demigod son of Xander, was killed, he and his followers were laid to rest on the great cairn that overlooks the city. His slain followers. So people don't think that they laid all his followers to rest with him and killed them. The slain followers were laid to rest in the great cairn. Pilgrimages are made here by the faithful each year, both to the barrow and to the temples located nearby. I'll say in the area. The great farms of Arisium are the main producers of grains and foodstuffs for the Strand. So all this whole area down here, and we will measure and use things from the trade post for 20 miles of farms. Farms. That's a lot of farms. Been waiting to be printed. Wow, I wonder what the holdup is on it. That's weird. Are they printing them over in like Czechoslovakia or something? Making the ink by hand? I don't know. Let's see. The road to Silvermont in the north is guarded by manned mile force, standing vigil against the darkness of the Whitewood, because, well, the Whitewood is a horrible, nasty place full of undead. West of the city stands an Arisium trading post, this little thing on the river that says trade post. That interacts mainly with the dwarven caravans traveling between Silvermount and Silverton. Let me get into the cities down here, which we pretty much covered. I rewrote one of these the other day. Sulis, home to more baths and meddens than any other town in the Strand, it is the epicenter of a great deal of ambient volcanic activity. Since the end of the God-Killer War, the baths and hot springs have remained usable with few dangerous variations, making it one of the most stable sources for such services and amenities. So it's not violent volcanic activity, it's just ambient. It is the warmest, most hot, springy, poolist place of all. Tavis, named after the river bearing the same name, which is the river there. This village produces a great deal of shellfish for export, as well as a great amounts of freshwater pearls in the isolated harbor that formed there after the coastal devastation. Only shallow skips can tread the waves between the harbor and the saltwater beyond, but this allows the pearl farmers to ply their trade in the sheltered waters. The depths of the coastal harbor hold the ruins of the original port of Savis, which was destroyed when Grix sank. Destroyed by Grix and sank beneath the waves. Divers often swim in and out of these ancient ruins as they hunt. The deeper into the ruins one goes, the more likely they are to find a prized specimen. But to do so is dangerous and only attempted by the bravest of divers, or most foolhardy, I suppose. Erudia sweatshop got raided by ice, so I have to wait for new workers to be imported. Wait a second! I can picture him walking around in his Hawaiian shirt and his Panama hat with the little with those little switches to get the flies off, walking around sweating, drinking a Mai Tai while everybody's printing his mugs. Yeah, totally. Got it. That definitely makes him sound like a Fed, though, in some kind of third world country where he's wearing sunglasses and dressed like that. He's totally like a CIA dude. Yeehaw. I'm going to change up the song that I'm listening to. There's music because this one's getting a little boring. I've listened to it a couple times. Let's see. What do we have? Everything with ships and coasts and water. We've got a ghost ship. The drowned tower he has. That sounds spooky. We'll try it. It's very aquatic sounding so far. Okay, that's super duper loud. Wow. Every one of these songs starts at full volume. Like, super full volume. It's kind of crazy. Like, thank you. Total Fed sea shanties. CIA agents don't dress like that. I mean, what? Hey, by the way, everybody, we had... Correct, you can't hear it. Haha. We had or I ran a little session 0 for the Halloween one-shot for the crew, because I wanted to get them to, see how the system works in the most basic sense and kind of work on their characters and learn a few things. And it was, they met some characters, let's just say. I can't wait for that next week. Next Monday, we'll be hitting that. We'll be hitting Bride Price and playing it in the Dresden Files accelerated system. It's going to be entertaining. It shall be amusing, if nothing else. And hopefully people want to throw a couple bucks their way to help them against some of the things they're going to run into. But we'll see. I don't know how it went, Dave. How did it go, Dave? By the way, if you didn't know, Dave is one of the players. Chrysanth is one of the players. I think everybody should know, since it was announced, who all the places are. Fun times. Beep, 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 beep. So we have Chrysanth, Nozaku Boy, Moss, and Darth Dave are my players. And they're going to be entertaining. Did anyone cause problems? Yes, Dave, you did. You did, Dave. Though Chrysanth's character caused problems too, unintentionally. She's just making friends. That's all I'm saying. I mean, one of them may have tampered with the crime scene. One of them may have made a new friend. One of them may have said some inappropriate things. I mean, there were things happening. Yeah, friends. Come on. Buck and Biggles are totally worth hanging out with at a later date. We all know the real problem child. Exactly. It's you, Dave. Sorry, it's you. It's you. It's totally Dave. Everybody knows it's Dave. Isn't that a show? Everybody loves Raymond. Everybody knows it's Dave. You got free Ovaltine out of it. That is true. That is true. He made all the friends. You got to meet Bentley. All right. Some fees. Okay, good. All right, we'll change that. And all right, we're on to Dubris, which is way up here at the end of this. The ancient shipbuilding center of Efor, the master shipwrights of Dubris were responsible for some of the greatest vessels used during the Godkiller War. Destroyed by Grix and his forces in their incursion, it was only rebuilt after the war. While ships are still built here, main exports are stone fruit and olives from the extensive orchards, as well as olive oil and other such staples. Stone quarries of Dubris are known far and wide for their marble, much of which was historically used in the building of bathhouses, villas, and nettons, which we talked about in other areas here. And the city of Efor and Port Castro are, well, they have a lot of marble buildings in them. Not me. Not me! I made all the friends, not me! When I play with Dave, our characters are not friends. It's fun. Nice. Anyone who has ever played a game with me knows I'm innocent and never cause chaos. X! When you posted something in the chat and Erudia asked me what kind of game I was running, we know that you hit an impressive level of something there, Dave. Good job. You owe me a rope. Oh no. Let's see. We're gonna go past that section. We've gone through the Senate's Fall, the Scar. Yeah, when Erudia is asking you what the heck we're doing, it is a problem. It would have been that kind of stream if we had been live. Just don't tell your mom about the characters you met. Crescent, you'll be fine. Totally fine, no problems. All right, Lost Delacia is the next thing we're going to kind of go over some of these bits and pieces again about. Impressive level of knowledge. A rope of climbing, to be specific. Wait, you broke his rope of climbing? I half expected him to show up in video yelling, "What are you doing, Frost?" Well, what I'm doing is the stuff. I'm just setting the stage. You guys are doing all the crazy stuff. The characters you guys met were totally normal, totally not weird. Okay, maybe Buck is a little weird. A bit. But Biggles is a good boy. He's just a doggy. You don't even want to know. You guys will see what we're doing on Monday. Yes! The best part is going to be me, and I've been trying to figure out the best way to do this at the beginning, explaining the idea of the system, what went before in that session 0, and what the setting is, because I've got to encapsulate all those things in a couple of sentences. Because I don't want to sit there and drone on forever. But I've got to be, to the point, pithy, and get it out there so people know what's going on and we can just hit the ground running, because we only have 3 hours to get through the whole story. Buck is going to get an old lady boot up his ass. I love the fact that in such a short time, I can generate such feelings towards a fictional character. His name is Robert. He just goes by Buck. And he never told you his last name, so there. And it's not Buck Buckington. All right, so Lost Delacia. They have no major conflict because it's really not much of a kingdom any longer. The capital is Folos. The largest city is Ilaris, which is unfortunately destroyed. The ruined capital. The government is a theocracy. Dialects common, religion Thalasia, and the demonym is Thalassians. Might crash this computer on the way out. You should have seen her slamming beers at MegaCon. I was impressed, and I'm from Wisconsin. Well, they say that the drunkest counties, I think most of the drunkest counties in the United States are in Wisconsin. Last name is Mortensen, we know. No. There's already a Morton Dresden Files, and we're not dealing with that guy. All right, this shattered chain of islands. Once Verdant Island was home to the beloved of Thalasia, or Thalassa, her chosen people. He knows how to put some drinks back. Now I know he might be fibbing. Beer is not her poison of choice. He definitely drank me under the table. Uh-huh. Faithful worshippers of the sea goddess, their navy was stronger than even Agrim's, but that all ended during the God Killer War when their civilization was wiped from the map and existence by Grix and his forces. Oh, Verdant does not have an F in it. Let's fix that. Check something once here. Oh, that's weird. I got notification for the icon changing that group. I was like, who's saying something? I don't know what's going on here. Way to confuse me, Erudia. Good job. It looks like Tomix must be playing some Nightingale because he's got a tree floating to the skies. That's pretty fun. Let's see, what was I doing here? Yes. She liked him well enough at the ice bar. There was beer at the ice bar? I thought it was all mixed drinks. I just ate a chair because it was ice. I don't believe you. I don't believe that you ate a chair. That sounds like a fib. Faithful worshippers of the sea goddess. Their navy was stronger than even Agrams. Is now a haunted abyss littered with shattered isles and cursed storms. Few ships venture near the abyss. We'll just say near. Most stopping well south of Seabreak Haven, waters that remain safe and navigable. Navigable. A fun word. Beer is spelled Y-U-K in her dictionary. Heck no, I had a drink that was $16 at the ice bar. And, well, that's plenty for $16 for a drink. People and their prices. I suppose it's an ice bar. They gotta pay for the cooling bills somehow, right? Let's see. Alaris, the once fabled home of Thalas's chosen priest and her people, it is now a haunted ruin that lies half below the waves. Its shattered towers slowly being eroded by Thalas's own tides. The abelisks that helped Grix destroy the realm from below still lurk in the abyss, hiding from the gods, lest they be found and dealt with for their crimes against her people. Most information regarding Alaris has been lost to the ages, and most living beings no longer know of the extensive travel network the Wizards of Alaris had in place in their heyday. Few of these devices are, we'll say constructs. Few of these constructs are in working order, but one does exist in a hidden locale near Seabreak Haven, another in the ruins of the temple that Flarp slept through the God-Killer war upon. Each of these can be activated if the sequences are deciphered, allowing the users to visit the ruins of Alaris, though some of the destination gates are far below the waves. Wouldn't that be fun? Turn on the gate, jump through, blurp! Welcome to Underwater Culture. Would I lie to you, Frost? I don't know. Would you, Dave? Looking into your soul. I'm looking into your soul. Dave, see photo evidence in DMs. Uh-oh. Don't go to a baseball game and then get a beer. Or don't go to a baseball game and then get a beer. Yeah, it's expensive at those damn stadiums. What days are the strongest? Saturdays and Sundays. The rest are weekdays. Wah, wah. You know, weirdly enough, this is going to sound probably kind of funny and bad. The last time I went to a big old sporting event, we went to a Packer game, but we got one of those package deals that it was on a bus that took us up to the stadium, and we got to go in, and I spent nothing pretty much on anything because I just didn't bother. And the worst part was they're like, oh, you get to go there and there's a whole beer table. You get a free beer and this and that. It was Bud Light because they were partnered with Bud Light. And I'm like, well, I mean, this was a long time ago before Bud Light even started making stupid business decisions, but I didn't like Bud Light at the time. So I'm like, well, not even going to have the free Bud Light. So, I think the whole time I was there, I had a soda. Watched the game, and then came back. Though there was free snacks and drinks on the bus. So I think I did have soda and snacks on the bus, now that I think about it. That was kind of a nice way to go to a game, too, because you don't have to worry about getting in and out of the parking lot. You just have to make sure you don't miss the bus. Oh, no. You're DMing people stuff. That's frightening. Leave me out of this one, please. No. Let's see. What was I doing here? Oh, Folos. I did rewrite a little bit of this section since the last time I was in here because one of the things that I wrote up and I came up didn't make any sense, given the fact that the power dynamic between the cities. I was like, oh, wait. That doesn't make any sense at all. So I fixed that. My job stopped doing a company picnic, instead started doing family baseball games, and I haven't even gone. We still do like a summer picnic thing, but it's always at like a field. Like there's a sports field. They do all kinds of different games and little concerts and stuff. It's always there. I just don't really go to it much anymore because, not my thing. Back when it was just a bunch of us meeting at a park, and we all brought meat and we grilled out. That was fun. And then for years they had like barbecue places come, and that was pretty fun. And then it just got, it got pretty big, and more people had their families and kids and stuff. And I was like, well, this is getting large. I'm going to go do something else. I'm just so antisocial. You know, me. Antisocial. The picnic was Fridays and we would get the day off. They moved it to a baseball game on a Saturday. I was like, why would I want to see you guys on a weekend in summer? I might have just gotten Chrysanthe written out of the will. Uh-oh. Well, Croissant, you had a good run. You tried. Now you can live your authentic life. You can get a muscle car like your neighbor who I think you said I think it's your neighbor. Yeah, you said your neighbor was the one who was revving his car all the time, and you can just sit out there revving your car and scaring everybody. Because you love them. Can you get me in that, Will? Isn't it just going to be some maple bacon? No? Maybe not. Let's see. I need a different song here. Yuletide cantrips. No. Passage, treacherous path. Do a watchtower. That one sounds like it's going to be a little bit active, but we're going to try it. Yeah, that's an active one. Okay, well, we'll go with it. Oh, the hot sauces. Making me sniffle. All right, what was I doing here? Okay. Folos is an ancient village that still clings to life on the edge of the fetid salt marshes that once were fertile plains of Thalassia. Folos is one of the only true pieces of Thalassian culture to survive the war. For centuries after, it was a home of the majority of refugees from Alaris and the Isles. As talk of reclaiming Alaris and the old cities waned, the people left, settling along the caustic strand or heading across the waves to Agrium. Those that stayed feel that they are the only true Thalassians, along with their brethren in the small coastal village of Seabreak Haven, down to the south. South of the word Thalassia and near the Whispering Woods on this map. This is the place where our starter adventure that Moss is working on is going to take place. Right down in that area. Folos' main export is wines made from their hardy northern grapes that can survive the harsher climates. Attempts to cultivate their grapes elsewhere in the Godlands have failed, ensuring that their exports remain in demand. Secondarily, the area is battered by storms and the seas regularly disgorge ancient waterlogged trees into the swamplands, which they harvest for valuable amber and rare lumber used by artisans. We're going to make it to the blackwood lumber. If you've ever seen like those blackwood trees, it's not ebony. I can't remember if it's called blackwood. There's something like that, but basically the inside of the tree is like this dark black core of a tree. What is it called? I thought there was a picture. Yeah, it is. I mean, most of the time it's just called blackwood. I was just trying to find a nice image of it. Yeah, there you go. It's really cool. Dark black trees, really cool grain in the center of it, and the center part of the outer part of it is just a light bark. Pretty cool. They're pretty neat. That's okay. My dad is losing all the inheritance in his poker games. Ah, well, there you go. Yes, we have no bananas for a song choice. No. Good to know Dad didn't get thrown out of the poker game yet. Donates his winnings to the church. There you go. Whee! Yeah, my mom used to play bingo all the time for her church, and I think she said a couple times, more than once, she said that it was her donating to the church. All right, I gotta do this because my nose. Hot sauce is getting me. There we go. So much better. Something is left after old age gets done with us. sorry, I checked my workbench. Man, there's always something to distract me here. All right, what is this message? Nice work. Okay, good. Awesome. I love it when my guys get praised by their coworkers. This is a good thing. It's good. I love setting them up for success and finding that it actually went somewhere. It is quite rewarding. All right. I gotta check. Sorry, I'm checking a build here, and I've got to log in. While my nose sniffles at me and runs a little bit. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Wait, the right thing? Let me check this quickly. Okay, well, this is one of the builds I needed to check. All right, well, that's up. That's good. It worked. I've got to go all the way back to this site, and I have to go to here. Oh, shoot, this is going to ask me to log into the... I have to securely log in here. Okay. All right, there we go. Secure login. Oh. Okay. Where is this at? I just need to check to make sure this build is actually gotten past the errors that we were seeing earlier. Where is the... I just want to see... Show more. I'm trying not to say anything out loud because I don't want to get in trouble for revealing stuff. All right, so that is... Wait, why is that? What? Okay, I'm confused. Confused about this number here. What is this? Oh, I see what it's doing here. Okay. That is completely unrelated to the thing. I'm looking at it going, why is this all red? Okay, I can close that one. I don't like seeing things that are like, oh, by the way, everything is completely red and broken. No, it's actually not broken. Never mind. Right, so this is that build. And it shows... I don't have any clue what that even means. Last price. What? Oh, that's the person's name. I was like, why does it have a price in here? Never mind. There's one of the people on, the 3,000 people that work on this project. Their last name is Price, evidently. Confused. Anyway, sorry. Enough of that. Oh, I can close that build now. I don't need to run that anymore. Okay, anyway, back to Legend Seeker stuff. Not talking about work. Anyway, I'm gonna go see what you guys were saying here. I used to play dominoes every day. Oh, okay. You always move in with your daughter. Imagine all the cookie surprises. Even send her some pun books to read. Woo! She would love that. Straight face. Just hide pun notes everywhere. Oh. Who needs a 5-bedroom house to live in? Not to mention all the grave sites. Wait a second. Wait a second, Dave. By the way, Dave, how was the walk with Tarkin? It's like 66 degrees out here now. So it's beautiful outside. And I wish I was walking around outside, but I'm here entertaining you folks and writing lore. But, you know, whatever. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll make it. All right. So, battered by storms. It's the blackwood lumber used by artisan. Volos is the unofficial capital of the theocracy of Thalassia, the High Cleric being considered the voice of authority over the lands. The church controls the military and militia that guards the villages, gathers the taxes, and metes out justice when necessary. They have their coinage minted by the dwarves of Silvermond, mimicking the style used by their forebears. The current High Cleric is one Agathinos, a revered scholar who is nearing the end of his long life. He's taken the job of High Cleric very seriously, treating the kingdom of his goddess as a family and with him as caretaker. His right-hand man, Lycos, or Lycos, I guess I don't want to pronounce that. I guess Lycos, less charitable and wishes to steer Thalassian culture toward a rebuilding mindset. His ambitions are tempered by his loving wife, Damara, who often counsels him to cool his words and ponder before acting. Zoilos, a rich trader originally from Seabreak Haven, who returned to the area from years abroad where he compounded his fortune in Portacastra and beyond. He is viewed with mild amusement and some distrust since his return because he speaks often of improvements he'd make to Folos if he had his way, talking about Agrian building styles and advancements. There's newfangled buildings. Beth should leave the pun notes on Sundays. I will occasion Corey, but we can't tell her yet. I have news for you all. I'm pretty sure that Chris Sands can read. It was a nice walk. Tarkin sniffed some things, ate some things, and pooped. Hey, there you go. Successful walk all around. Chios, which is up here on the river, newer village established along the Queen's Blood River no more than 10 years ago by farmers from Folos, funded by the church and led by Lycos, right-hand man of the High Cleric Agathinos. Lycos and his men found that the land had healed enough this far north to support more varied types of agriculture than were possible further south. He convinced Agathinos that the future of Thalassia lay in retaking of their lands, and the elderly cleric acquiesced, granting him control over the endeavor. This farming village now produces tobacco, corn, and temperate fruits in their orchards, supplying their brethren in the south and the dwarves of the Five Falls in the north. Lycos has plans to found another village of the northeast across the river from Chios, where lumber and minerals are found, though he has yet to get the blessing of his mentor for this. He has commissioned more than one adventuring party to scout the area for suitable sites for a village. So, that's another adventure hook. Lycos says, hey, we need you guys to scout across that river and see if there's a good place for us to put the village. Let us know where any monsters are, if there are any ruins, any other cool things up there, and then let the players loose. Nice. There we go. All right, let's see. Seabreak Haven. This is the place where the adventure happens. Small village that weathered the destruction of Thalassia by Grixis forces and was a haven for refugees as they fled for the west. The village is mainly known for its amber production and the many goods made from shellfish that the village harvests. The area is also home to more than one wizard who is studying the ruins of the first mages which dot the coast. Now, I'm going to be changing that to a few other things. I'm going to change the name of the group and stuff like that, but I have notes in here. I'm also going to do this. Let me highlight that so I don't forget it. These eclectic and erudite scholars often enlist the aid of locals in searching for old artifacts, ruins, and treasures which wash up on the shores. Numerous small tribes of goblins reside along the broken shores, though none are too close to the village, their guards keeping the people safe. We'll say vigilant. I'm getting messages. What do we got here? What do we got here? Messages. Okay. And I will be stopping a couple of minutes early because I have to go take care of one thing before my game tonight, which I will need like 5 or 10 minutes to go do. So, just let me know. Well, I won't be running all the way till 7 tonight. All right, the village itself is built on top of the rocky cliffs, but walkways snake between clefts in the headland down to the docks and harbor, which looks out on the Thalassian Ocean, the abyss, and the remnants of the great isle where Alaris once stood. Maintenance of the ancient Thalassia road that connects Seabreak Haven to Folos in the north is a priority for the people of the region, since they consider themselves the last true holdouts of Thalassian culture. Well, they also maintain the roads to Portacastra in the west and Denu in the south, or Deru, sorry, not Denu. They are not nearly so well kept. These byways are not nearly so well kept. The road to Folos is an ancient and rutted, but let's see. We'll change this from that to ancient and rutted, but unbroken for the 70 miles between the two settlements, allowing for faster travel through the salt marshes than would be expected. Drainage canals and weirs have been built in numerous places over the last millennia to keep the roadways from being flooded or washed away. Seabreak Village gets its name from the massive seawall that protects the harbor. Ancient and crumbling, but it's kept the village and harbor safe from swells since before the time of the Godkiller War. The tower that sits on the outer end of the Seabreak is manned day and night, a fire burning there at all times according to their traditions. Most people in Seabreak Haven know the ships come and go by sight, and an occasion when an unknown vessel is sighted on approach. It's an occasion. We'll say a special occasion when an unknown vessel is sighted on approach. People of Seabreak hold to the traditions of their ancient tidal festivals, honoring Thalassia and the ancient ways of worship. They swim and race boats along the coast during the high tide festivals and have diving competitions during the full moons, with participants searching for glitterstones along the coastal seabeds. Fishermen generally carry more than one mast flag on their boats, flying a white flag on their return to let their families know they are all safe and on board. If tragedy has befallen those on a boat, they fly their black flag to signal their distress to those on land as they return. And that was just me adding little bits of flair to their culture. So things like that. Those are fun. It's not something that a person visiting would know about. The Whispering Woods. I'm not going over Flarp again because I made no changes to Flarp since the last time. The Whispering Woods are said to be haunted. Now, I did change a little bit of this around. I'm going to check with Moss and Erudia about this too, because I've got to find out where he's at with some of the stuff in the adventure, because I want to add a few things, but I don't want to stomp over anything he's writing. The woods are said to be haunted. The people of the village have seen centaurs dashing between the trees more than once. The villagers believe the centaurs corral and shepherd the angry spirits back to the lands of the dead, so they tend to leave the creatures alone. Nope, no green and red flags, black and white. The red flag would show up possibly, but these people don't have access to a lot of cool dyes and stuff. They can make a black and a white flag pretty easy. Just bleach it. Or just leave it as a normal sailcloth color. We don't have fancy colored flags here in Seabreak Haven. We got canvas and we got black. That's all we got. And blue doesn't show up and green doesn't show up well against the sky and the sea. The centaurs and fae in the woods love to prank and play with any who enter their woods, generally not in a malicious way, but since they don't understand human limits, their tricks can be dangerous. So this is the what is the word? Whimsy and woe. The edict of whimsy and woe. Rumors also persist of a cult that lives deep in the woods, so few in the village believe these whispers are anything more than old wives' tales. But they're true. There are cults everywhere, man. What was Oh yeah, I made the quote for Lost Thalasia kind of a little Ozymandias like. There's a broken inscription on an ancient salvaged Thalassian tablet that says, "Eternal is our goddess, eternal is our city, eternal shall be our," and then it's broken off. Because it wasn't eternal, now was it? Everything's a cult. All the cults. Everything's a cult all the time. You wanna join a cult? It's free. All you have to do is subscribe to the Moonskull channel and subscribe to the Legend Seeker channel and subscribe to my channel. Cults galore. Look at that. Wait. No, we're not cults. We're a bunch of reasonable, normal people. I've been trying to start a cult. Yeah, sub to Frost, you losers. Do it. I have managed to get a few more subs recently. It's still a little difficult to get people to sub to me because, well, I look like an old wizard. That's just not what sells on social media these days. So, if you guys are in my Discord, you should take a peek at the post that Tomix made in the general chat yesterday at about 9. It's Asmongold talking about another guy talking about something. So it's a reaction video to something, but he talks about the gaming industry and literally talks about Gen X developers and wizards and stuff like that. I'm like, hey, it's me. All right. Wow, that's interesting. Sorry. All right. Weird. Okay. That one will go there. And okay. Ooh, moving some notes around. Sorry. What was I doing here? Checking the chat. See what people are saying. Merch is your grumpy face, and we buy it. That might be a cult. It's a cult. The start of a cult. It's a small cult. Tiny one. They're missing out. Hello, Sassy Witch. Reasonable, normal people. Well, we're reasonable. We have reason. We have reasoned. We might reason. I don't know. Something like that. By the way, Sassy Witch, I asked Cajun Corey what he was doing because he had some time off. And I expected more alligator wrestling and alligator wrangling. He's like been playing video games and enjoying himself and reading books and doing stuff. I literally expected way more Cajun-based activities. I was shocked. So hopefully you've been doing something sassy and or witchy. And Dave's been doing Dave stuff. There's no question about that. Dave always Daves it up. And Chrysanthe is sitting there in her shawl, knitting or something. Needlepoint, maybe. I don't know. And Fantastic is literally being sarcastic. It's what happens. And Bap is hiding cookies and doing Bap things. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the normal state of everything. And Shadow Warden is, he's kind of lurking in the shadows, honestly. You live in Tennessee. So, well, I mean, there's Cajuns everywhere, right? Right? Totally normal men here. Uh-huh. You're always doing dart stuff. Friends went to different pagan stores in Nashville. Interesting. Chrysanth's read all the puns I've told she writes down. I'm sure she writes them all down to laugh at in private. I don't believe it. I would never be sarcastic. I see what you did there. So, about that sarcasm. Hey, is anybody excited to go see that new Tron movie? Tron. What do they even call it? Ares? No, that doesn't sound right. I can't remember what it's called. Ah, okay. Oh, I think because Cajun Corey just said he was in Tennessee. Ready for dart ball. Dart ball? Wait, I thought you played pickleball. Are you a sporty Sportington there, Dave? Is that what I'm hearing here? You sported up all the time? There's a tram movie. Tron! Bam! Alright, I'm going to save this down. Calling my granddad's father's name counts. Cool. I tell people at work there are dark corners of the internet where I'm known to be sarcastic. Not lie. Oh, that's true. The dark corners of the earth. Those places where people don't go unless they know the password. The password is 12345. Right? I hope. Okay, I'm just scrolling down to see something. Ah, there we go. I wanted to read this. Played pickleball this morning and tonight dartball. I don't even know what dartball is. I'm going to go look at it. Darts and baseball played on a special board with colored. No, that's not right, because I used to play that when I was a kid. Unless, is it literally, are you actually playing dartball like the normal, dartboard, throwing darts at it, like with the home plate and all that stuff? Or is it something else, like tossing beanbags or something like that? Password is Muppetosis. That doesn't exist. I've been told that doesn't exist. I have been told such things. Yeah, everything I'm seeing just normal dartball is like a board, a normal dartboard, but it's a big board. Because when we used to play it when I was little, it was just a normal dartboard, like the one I have back here. But when you flipped it over, it went from normal darts to the back of it had the bases and everything on it. Okay, 4x4 darts at it. You're so wordy, Dave. You say all the words, and sometimes you put grammar in there. A board bigger than Nuggy Smalls. Very nice. Wow. Well, on that note, like I said, I'm going to be getting out of here a little bit early, so I'm going to be stopping pretty shortly here. Because I've got to get ready for my game, but I've also got to take care of a couple things. So, thank you all for coming by. Please make sure you like, And when you get a chance, do a comment. Over on Moonskull, we have the Combat Brigade. So please comment, say things, all kinds of things, even if it's a lot of puns or something. You're responding to puns and saying how much you like puns or hate puns in the comments. But please do it. And I'm gonna get the heck out of here. I'm gonna go do some stuff. You have a fun-filled evening, and thank you all for coming by. I will talk to you a little later, and I will see you on Thursday for more of this. Same channel, same time I start, 5 o'clock Central. I'll talk to you later.